Hello, I am Stephanie Joy, the attorney at All Things Social Security and Joy Disability Law. Your video is about to start. I just wanted to remind you that if you click the join button below, you can learn more about the memberships offered at a very affordable price that can give you a little more direct attorney answers to your questions. Have a great day and enjoy the video. Hello, Fraud Law Review. This is a very recent indictment case, and it's touched on Social Security, is the fact that Social Security numbers were stolen in a bank fraud scheme. So let's go through it. This is in the Western District of the state of Washington. And it just came out from the Office of Inspector General on August 2nd. Okay, so there's 6 people involved. It was conspiracy to commit bank fraud. And they had a scheme to steal more than $345,000 from a Western Washington credit union. There's apparently one defendant who seems to be the ringleader, and she had been a very short-term employee, apparently, or contractor for the bank. And during that tenure, she stole this information. So let's get into it. The one defendant, 31-year-old, looks like, you know what? I'm not going to say the name because she's been indicted but not convicted. So we'll see how that goes. And I just believe in innocent until proven guilty, regardless of what we think the odds are that someone would be innocent. Doesn't matter. Innocent until proven guilty. Okay. So she used her brief employment with the credit union to steal account information of credit union customers. Obviously, Social Security is your Social Security number is in the bank's possession when you have a bank account, so that the conspirators could take over the accounts and steal the funds. It should be noted that the credit union fully reimbursed the customers who lost money to the co-schemers. I hear the black lab barking outside. I'm going to pretend not to hear him. So according to the records in the filed case, between May and October of 2022, this lady worked out of her Tacoma home as a contract center employee who helped customers with account issues. So she had a nice job working from home remotely in that role. And by the way, this would have happened just as easily if she worked in an actual call center. I don't see that it would necessarily have been any different. I mean, you can steal if you're going to steal, you know, you just hopefully get caught and get nailed and get punished for it. In that role, she had access to personally identifying information about customers of the credit union. And according to the indictment, she passed that information on to a 22-year-old fellow who allegedly used it to access and steal from customer accounts. This fellow allegedly advertised on social media that he could make false identification materials and sought to recruit co-schemers to access victims' accounts. So yeah, hey, come here. I'll sell you some false ID. Apparently he was advertising the sale of false ID on the social media. Okay, so they give a slew of other people who were co-conspirators in this scheme. One was an apparent woman of the age of 42 out of Auburn, Washington. Then we have somebody, I'm not sure the gender, not that it matters, age 22 out of Tumwater, Washington. A third fellow, another fellow, 36-year-old out of Seattle. And then another female of University Place, Washington. Okay, so the main lady, she's charged with every account in the indictment, while the other ones are charged with conspiracy, and different defendants are charged with individual counts of bank fraud or aggravated identity theft. That dog. He thinks he's going to bark when I do something, but I'm going to finish this. Apparently they're appearing, what day are we at now? Probably late this week or early next week. Or by early next week, they will have all appeared on their indictments. The conspirators use false IDs and use those to get debit cards and make withdrawals from the victims' accounts, often at the credit union's own branches. After obtaining increases in the ATM withdrawal limits, the conspirators obtained as much as $25,000 in cash. The conspirators would also spend victims' funds by ordering cashier checks or purchasing postal money orders that they made payable to other conspirators or their associates. They used their illegal access to transfer money between accounts and checking balances on accounts. And again, it's like almost $350,000 that they stole from the credit union. You know what's a shame about this? I'm very glad, you know, I'm guessing it's FDIC insured, but I'm not really sure with the banking credit union business. Whether, I mean, the people are properly being reimbursed for their bank accounts, thank goodness, because the bank actually had a security breach, if you think about it. So it's on the bank. That said, when the banks lose money to something like this, it's going to cost everybody. And can these little dipwads ever pay back the money they stole? Hopefully they'll go into a prison for a decent amount of time. I mean, this is really bad. It says here that conspiracy to commit bank fraud and bank fraud itself are both punishable by up to 30 years in prison. So it's really steep. Aggravated identity theft is punishable by a mandatory minimum 2 years in prison to follow any other sentence imposed on other charges in the case. That last part, to follow any other sentence imposed, make sure that it's consecutive and not concurrent. Yeah, you know, I kind of think aggravated identity theft with a minimum of 2 years, that's kind of a low amount of time for aggravated identity theft. And I'm not sure what the difference is between regular identity theft and aggravated, but in terms of, you know, fact patterns, but you have to think it's got to be truly intentional and for selfish purposes. So why is it 2 years? I don't know. Anywho, and plus when someone steals someone else's identity, then they sell that information to the dark web or wherever. Catching them is not the end of the story. People know that their stuff is out there now and always will be. I mean, it can be, you know, probably affect one's psyche for the rest of their life. Never, you know, probably you're going to be getting those services that cover your, you know, lock your life and make sure it's secure and will cover you if they have to go and, you know, take legal action on your behalf to get your credit back and all that stuff. So, you know, it created a cottage industry of that. But of course, at our own expenses. But anyway, that was an interesting, nasty case. It was investigated by the Social Security Administration, of course, Office of Inspector General, as well as the FBI. Alrighty, talk to you later, guys. Bye.